Hello, welcome to TisTalk.
This is a podcast coming from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Julianne Murphy.
And I'm Mary Myers. It's the week beginning the 30th of September. Well, hello, Julianne.
Hello, Mary. So, Mary, I had an exciting moment this morning because I was listening to James O'Brien on LBC and they were talking about the Windrush report that came out today, and Malcolm from Tisbury rang in.
Malcolm from Tisbury?
Yeah, who's Malcolm in Tisbury?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who, indeed?
Yeah, but James loved his conversation with him. It was really, he was good.
So that's all he said? He didn't give his surname or anything?
No, Malcolm from Tisbury in Wiltshire.
Yeah.
So he had a really good banter with James O'Brien about the report and the empire and how the foundations of the empire were built on racism. And he put up a very good argument for that.
All right.
And James O'Brien really enjoyed talking to him.
It's not often you get the debate about racism coming as far down here as Tisbury.
No, I know. Interesting. Yeah. So this week we've got you having an interesting chat with Cella up at the Nadder Centre.
Yes, that was good. I also talked to Peter Shallcross this week, so we're going to have an update from him from his farm. And then we catch up with Jerry Mason, with a sort of wash-up from the carnival. And then we also hear from Viv Worrall, and she and some friends did an amazing walk at the weekend called 23 Peaks in 24 Hours, or maybe it's 24 Peaks in 24 Hours, in aid of Julia's Hospice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll have Lorraine...
Yoga.
Yes, Lorraine Yoga. Lorraine Connell, who will give us some yoga tips.
Good. This week, Mary was up at the Nadder Centre where she caught up with Cella, the fitness instructor.
First of all, what's your real name? Because we all know you by Cella, but...
It's Marcella. It's Italian. My parents are Italian.
Right.
They've lived here for nearly 60 years now.
Right.
So I've got Italian heritage.
Okay.
Speak Italian, speak English, yeah.
And how long have you lived in Tisbury?
I've lived in Tisbury coming up to about 26 years now. I'm originally from London.
You worked up at the Nadder Centre all that time?
Yeah, I used to work at Tisbury Sports Centre before, and I've had time off having children, so 4 children. But I've worked here at the Nadder Centre for about 8 years now, and I've been an instructor for nearly 20 years.
Okay.
And I've worked with Wiltshire Council instructing for about 20 years.
Right. So here we are. It's kind of the beginning of a new term, the autumn term. Are you very busy?
It's getting very busy, which is quite nice. Obviously, before COVID hit us, we were quite busy, and there's still sometimes the whole social distancing aspect, but we have got a limit to numbers, so there's plenty of space for everybody. People are slowly coming back. There is always that, big sort of barrier of coming to exercise or starting a new sort of journey with your fitness. Our classes are very friendly. The atmosphere is very chilled. We don't, we're not sergeant majors. We like to sort of encourage people, even if they just come for the social aspect, which there is a lot of. As you probably saw, it took me ages to get out of the hall because people like to chat, which I like. I encourage, because for some people, it's the only time they see other people.
Yes. And you're kind of known, you're known to me anyway, as doing a lot of groove fit and kind of disco beat
We did
stuff.
disco beat stuff.
Very energetic, very
but
high.
There's classes for everybody. I tailor them so that everybody can work out. There's always 3 levels to everything I do. You can do high, you can do low, or in the middle. It's for all fitness levels, all ages. It's all about having fun. I like to create a fun atmosphere. We always laugh, we always chat. Everybody gets on really well, which is quite nice.
How did you get into the whole fitness thing and make it a career?
I had a very large second child, so I put on a lot of weight. I put on about 4 stone.
When was this?
This was in 1999.
Right,
Gosh.
yes.
So I started to go to classes, but I did a lot at home. I had videos. And then I thought to myself, well, why don't I just do it myself? And so I did the course, the exercise to music course, and qualified in 2005.
So you weren't like a fitness person right from the word go?
No, I do remember enjoying PE at school, rounders and netball was my favourite. But it was always an active person. It's always been, I think, in my genes. My dad is a very active person, and sitting down is not an option for me.
Can I ask how old you are now, Cella?
I'm 54.
Oh, goodness. I can't believe it.
I know.
You look about 30.
I think if I didn't have this, I think I wouldn't be as active and maybe fit and healthy as I am. So, yeah.
You said something about the cost of classes for people. It's not affordable for everybody.
But there are options where you have different memberships. You don't have to be tied into a membership. You can pay as you go. There are free class passes, so you can try before you buy. So I'm very keen to let people try without committing to anything, because they might come to a class and say, actually, no, that's not the one I actually want to do. They'll try something else, and then they'll find something that works. And what I say to everybody is work at your own pace. And if you feel tired, walk out, march, have a drink, and try again.
Now we have a few fun questions, Cella. What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Well, I have to get my kids to school for a start, so I have to. And also, I do morning classes, so I have to be ready to teach at 9:30.
You're such a bundle of energy. It's amazing. Yeah. What's your favourite local view?
It would have to be Warder. Love going up there because it's peaceful.
What do you like most about Tisbury?
It's quite nice that there's everything here. The fact that we actually have a gym here in a village is, we're quite lucky. So, yeah, there's something for everybody in Tisbury.
Any dislikes about Tisbury, Cella?
Not really. It's just, sometimes it'd be nice to go out and not be recognised. It's just the job I do because, it's a very sort of, because it's a community centre.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
What about completing this sentence? Not many people know this about Tisbury, but...
So, yeah, there's always something going on at Nadder Centre, and it's sometimes quite surprising that people don't realise just how much goes on here.
So now, just quick fire, I haven't warned you about this.
Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Football or rugby?
Football.
And for music, would you listen to Radio 1, 2 or 3?
I don't listen to the radio very much, but probably Radio 1. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Cella.
That's okay, thank you.
And that was a little bit of Nirvana for Cella. I have to admit I forgot to ask Cella what her choice of Desert Island Disc would be, but I asked her afterwards and she told me it would be Nirvana.
Find us on Facebook at TisTalk Listeners and Fans.
Peter Shallcross now with a seasonal farming update. So here we are in September, Peter. How's the summer been for you in terms of the farm?
I think the summer's been the best part of the year. I'm expecting all this rain in a couple of days' time or tomorrow, and it's all so much on a knife edge, and harvest was like that. The extraordinary bit of the harvest at Warder on Sue Burt's field, on the top by the crossroads at Warder. We had rain, say on the Tuesday. On Wednesday it was dry, so the Matt Fry's combine came in at 3 o'clock, and it's a big field. It's 50-acre field, and they managed to combine the whole thing before, say, 9 o'clock. The baler turned up and baled behind the combine because, in fact, the straw was really dry. The grain was wet from the day before. The straw, the standing straw had dried out in the wind, and the baler caught up behind the combine. The driver took the baler off, stacked the bales. Nick from here got them in the barn, and everything was cleared by 10 o'clock that night. The following day it was a monsoon, the next day it was a monsoon, and it's so different from the past where, without the coordination and between everybody.
All those machines
and
as well.
the huge machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to do that so quickly and beating the weather.
And that's happened several times this summer where it's just been...
You just have these very short windows between huge weather events.
Yeah, and it's frightening, really.
I was standing in the near the cow barn, these are the pregnant heifers, is that right?
Yes, this group is they're all going to calve in the next month, any day now. all the way through. There's a mixture of heifers and cows that haven't calved before, and older cows right up to 12-year-olds.
Yes, they don't look enormous, or maybe it's a bit deceptive.
Well, you've got this heifer. What's her number? Is 321? Is it?
Yeah, black and white.
She's her udder's getting ready, and this one even more so. 55.
So it's more, you look at the udders rather than the belly.
Yes. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
The belly doesn't tell you a huge amount.
Right. Okay.
And some of these cows they haven't started what we call bagging up much at all. Their udders, not filling up at all yet, because they'll be in here for a good month before they calve.
Right.
And they're munching away on this haylage. So
yes.
Haylage is quite dry silage, and it's made into bales. So it's all those usually black bags that you see around in the fields. It's haylage.
Oh, that's haylage. So I thought it was just to stop them getting wet, but it's actually to kind of make them a little bit sort of pickled inside.
Yeah, it's pickled grass, and so stop the air getting in.
Right.
Otherwise, they become compost very quickly. And one thing about the haylage, it's very special haylage that we have to feed these cows, because at calving there's such a demand for calcium that you have to not manipulate, but you have to be very careful about what you feed them. And so we pick silage from fields that hasn't had any fertiliser, older grass. So if you were to give these cows grass which we cut in May, for example, very lush grass, they'd nearly all get milk fever. So milk fever is a lack of calcium, and the symptoms are that they progressively, over a very short time after calving or just before calving, they lose their ability to stand, to ruminate, to pass anything, and they get very distressed very quickly.
Right.
And you can just supplement calcium to get them as an antidote quite quickly, but the best thing is not to have any at all.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Jerry Mason gives us a summary of last week's very successful Tisbury Carnival.
Hi, Mary. Yes, it was. I was involved quite a lot, probably a little bit more than I ever expected to be, but it was a good day. We've had a good wash-up session afterwards.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that we learnt, but the most important thing is that everybody seems to have had a wonderful day. We were blessed that we didn't have any rain.
No.
The music was good. People seemed to be enjoying themselves. The carnival procession was amazing, better than last year, and
it really was a fantastic day, wasn't it?
It was. It couldn't have got any better.
Yeah,
really.
and we really have to thank the Tisbury Carnival Committee for organising it. So, what are the lessons learnt though? I mean, what would you do differently next year?
Certainly. Street marshals, we had quite a few issues with delivery lorries trying to force their way through to make deliveries, and we'll need to be a lot firmer with the drivers and just make sure they don't go around the signage. In terms of rubbish, we need to put some more and bigger bins out for all the extra waste. We did collect everything up that we could, but people didn't take a lot of things home with them. But it's a lesson learnt, and we've already just talked about how we're going to arrange that for next year. There were one or two issues, one of which was the confetti.
What was wrong with the confetti?
Well, first of all, the Carnival Committee weren't aware that anybody was going to be firing off these confetti cannons. Nobody had warned us.
Right.
Personally, my view is that it's one day a year. We only have a carnival once a year. We make our best efforts to clear up. We cleared up the square and the lower end of the high street. We were there till around 10 o'clock on the Saturday night, sweeping up,
really,
and clearing rubbish away.
Well done.
Unfortunately, we weren't aware of the cannons that had been let off further up the high street by the Bennetts and the Boots, and didn't realise that until Sunday, by which time the weather was so atrocious that we really couldn't go out and clear everything up.
So
They are biodegradable confetti. It's made out of paper. There's no plastics involved with it as far as I can tell. I know there are people who have problems with it, probably getting into gardens and things.
But will you ban confetti next year?
Well, I think that's a decision that'll be made near the time. That I think the feeling of the Carnival Committee was that it is a once-a-year event, and we would ask that people bear with us. We will certainly do our best to make sure everything is cleared up, and obviously we'll make other arrangements for next year if confetti is used. We don't want to be killjoys, but we are conscious that that some people have gardens and they don't want it strewn all over their gardens.
Sure.
So all the winners have got their trophies, and I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who took part in the competitions. Some amazing costumes and floats, all the shops that took part with the window displays. I don't think I've ever seen so many shops involved. It's great to see.
Good. And in terms of money raised?
Well, all the money, any money that we raise during the year goes towards putting on the carnival. We've got some money left over after this year's event, which is in the bank and will be used to set off on next year's carnival journey. The one important thing that we need is that we need volunteers to work with the Carnival Committee to help prepare things in advance. We are short of numbers.
Right. So this is an official call. You heard it here on TisTalk first. It's probably not the first time you called for this, but more people for the Tisbury Carnival Committee, please.
Not just on the committee, but if we ask for people to come and help prepare things, street marshals to look after roads on the day, road closures on the day.
Oh, okay. Just on the day.
On the day, preparations for the event.
Right.
We always need help putting signs out, putting bunting up in the streets, taking it down again.
Yes.
There's lots of little jobs, but if people just want to donate a little bit of time, they don't have to be doing it 3 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
No.
Once or twice a month would be great. If we put out a call for volunteers on Facebook, people want to respond, we would really appreciate it. Well, for the first time, we actually had the entire sound system, the lighting, the power supply for Sugar and Slice catering truck, all supplied from one electric vehicle, which was part of the package deal from a company called All the Kit, who were friends. Nadder Community Energy know them, recommended them to us. They supplied an electric car, which meant that we didn't have to hire diesel generators. Certainly cheaper, a lot cheaper than hiring generators.
Right.
We were very, very fortunate enough to have a grant from Nadder Community Energy, to which we are very, very grateful towards that as part of their community benefit function. So that helped us out.
Yeah, just you're having some well-earned rest after this year,
well,
I expect.
For my sins, I'm quite heavily involved in organising 'Tis the Season, and put a plug in for that on Saturday the 7th of December.
Yes.
Got to be a bit different this year. We'll be closing the high street and the square, live music, lots of different food, lots of market stalls. Most of the shops have agreed to open a little bit later on a Saturday evening. So hopefully, fingers crossed that we have good weather. People can come out and enjoy the afternoon, enjoy some music. I'm trying to source a roast chestnut cellar, hopefully to really bring about the taste and smell of Christmas.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah.
Keep a look out on Facebook and on all the social media outlets, and you'll find out more information.
Great. Thank you very much, Jerry.
No problem.
Follow us on Instagram at TisTalk Radio.
Next we hear from Viv Worrall about her amazing hiking challenge. Hello Viv, thanks for coming on TisTalk.
Hi Mary, thank you very much for inviting me along.
So we hear that you've done this amazing sponsored walk for charity. Tell us all about it.
It was a sponsored walk. We went to the Lake District and it was to hike. I should say hike really rather than walk.
Right.
Walk makes it sound a little too easy.
No.
But it was a hike for 24 peaks of the highest peaks in the Lake District to be done in 24 hours.
Wow.
And we were doing it for the charity Julia's House.
Okay, and you've just come back. So it was last weekend, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
We did it Saturday and Sunday, and then we travelled back on Monday.
Right, and you were just telling me that you had miraculously good weather.
We had amazing weather.
Yeah.
Really, really good weather. A little bit foggy on the first day, so visibility went down in places. But the second day, we had wonderful weather.
Great.
Makes it sound easy, but it wasn't. But so we did it over 2 days. So we did 12 peaks on the first day, and that was about 8.5 to 9 hours walking. And then we got up early the next day and did the next 12 peaks, and that was about 13 hours walking.
Wow, so a harder day on the second day.
Much harder day on the second day,
Yes.
not only for length of time, but also for the height and the terrain that we did as well.
Yeah.
Very rugged.
Was it sometimes scrambling on your hands and knees?
Yes.
Was it?
Quite a bit of the time. If you've never been to the Lake District, it's one of the most beautiful places to go.
Yes. Yeah.
So it did ease the pain. So I was with Rosie Ecott and Jules Attlee, and Jules then came along with her friend Vicky.
So Rosie and Jules are also Tisbury residents.
Yep,
And
they work at the Tisbury Surgery, and so
Yes.
have been doing a great job raising money from there as well. Yeah.
so tell us about the charity Julia's House. What's it for?
So Julia's House is the Dorset and Wiltshire's children's hospices. They look after and support children, but also their families. So children who have life-limiting or life-shortening illnesses. Excuse me if I tear up or why I tear up. This is exactly the reason why I chose to do with this charity. They support them in all kinds of ways. They support them actually at the hospice, so it's not just end-of-life care. They're supporting these children who will never have a life as we know it, and they support them. I loved it when I was reading through all their literature. What really came out was the fun that they wanted to put into helping support these children. And the other big thing is they support the families, so they provide respite care for the families. They will provide like complementary therapies for them whilst their children are maybe in a session in Julia's House. So there's an awful lot that they do, but they do need to raise a lot of money. So the money that we've raised, we are just so very, very grateful that people have been so generous. Rosie and I, as our little team, have raised £4,800, so that's just short of 5,000. It would be very
Great.
nice to try to get it up to there, but we'll see what else comes in. And the whole group, so the whole challenge, has raised about 38,000.
Wow.
Which is super, because the target was to raise 27,000.
Ah, so
And
you
27,
beat it.
yes, and 27 would have paid for one carer for a year. That year.
Great.
Around in Tisbury, I believe it's 15 families within 12 miles of Tisbury are supported by Julia's House.
Is your funding page still live? Can people still contribute?
Absolutely can, and if they could, that would be lovely. So it's Just Giving. We're all on Just Giving, so they could look up me, Vivienne Worrall, or they could look up Rosie Ecott, or Jules Attlee. And if that fails, just look up the 24 Peaks Challenge for Julia's House, and they will find how to donate there.
Okay.
Or even so, they could go to Julia's House website, and there's a little link on there. They could just say donate.
Thank you very much, Viv.
Thank you, Mary.
And here's the website for Julia's House. It's juliashouse.org/donate.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
And before the what's-ons, get ready to relax with yoga teacher Lorraine Connell.
Hello everyone, my name's Lorraine and I'm a yoga teacher based in Hatch. Welcome to today's episode of 3 Minutes for You for TisTalk. The focus of today's session is gentle stretches for your neck, and you can do this practice whether you're sitting, standing or lying. So wherever you are, start to follow the flow of your breath. Feel the gentle expansion of your in-breath and the gentle contraction of your out-breath. Don't feel like you have to change your breath in any way. Just watch the breath coming and going. Now, take your next in-breath in your own time. And as you breathe out, slowly drop your chin to your chest. Breathe in again here. And as you breathe out, softly let the weight of your head go even more. How does this feel in your neck and upper back? Now, breathe in and slowly lift your head back up. This time, as you breathe out, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, looking forward and down. Breathe in to the left side of your neck and breathe out again here. Now breathe in and slowly lift your head back up to the centre. Breathe out and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Breathe into the right side of your neck and breathe out again here. Now we're going to repeat those 3 simple movements one more time. Inhale in the centre. Exhale your chin to your chest. Inhale to lift your head. Exhale to drop right ear to right shoulder. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale, drop left ear to left shoulder. And inhale back to the centre. And just pause here, breathing softly. Before you return to the rhythm of your day, take a moment to notice how you feel now and whether anything's changed from how you felt 3 minutes ago. Thank you so much for joining me today. If ever you'd like to try a yoga class with me, either at the Nadder Centre or at Pitt House Tennis Club, you can just text or WhatsApp me to get more information. I'm on 07720 236 536. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
TisTalk, a podcast from Tisbury on tistalk.buzzsprout.com.
And finally, here's Lal Pointer with the What's On listings.
It's a quieter week in Tisbury as we settle into autumn. Age UK Wiltshire is holding a Carers Together roadshow on Monday the 30th of September at the Hinton Hall, Church Street, Tisbury. Unpaid carers will be able to find out information on all aspects of caring and what help they can access from the Carers Together Wiltshire. Carers will also be able to share their thoughts and needs around the type of community events they'd like to see in the local area for unpaid carers. On Tuesday, 1st of October at 10 a.m, the TisBus outing will take place visiting the Army Air Museum in Middle Wallop. And again this week, chair yoga will be at the Hinton Hall on Tuesday from 11:15 to 12:15. On Saturday the 5th, starting at 10 a.m. until 11 a.m, the Tisbury Country Market will be in the Victoria Hall. Horse Show, a carnival of equine art, opens in Messams on Saturday in the Long Gallery, running until the 6th of January. And also on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. until 12 noon, a coffee morning fundraiser for MND, motor neuron disease, will take place in the Hindon Village Hall. On Saturday the 6th, a second exhibition opens at Messams in the Big Barn. British sculptor and advocate for the awareness of climate change, Tessa Campbell, will be showing her whale sculptures under the title A Deeper Dialogue. And that's it for this week.
That's all from us. We've been Julianne Murphy
And Mary Myers, with special thanks to Tom Davison.
You can contact us on tistalkradio@gmail.com.